Hello, smartest artists. I'm coming to you live from my living room slash dining room. Today, we are going to be looking at the artwork of artist Georgia O'Keeffe, and we are going to be making some artwork in her style. So I can't wait to see your artwork. Remember to share it with me, and happy arting. Goodbye. Ooh, smartest artists. Today we are going to be looking at and making artwork from artist Georgia O'Keeffe in her style. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find some inspiration. Now, I just had this little flower sitting around in a drawer upstairs. Don't remember what I used it for. Probably put it in my hair somehow. So this is going to be my inspiration flower, but you can look one up online and see a picture of it, or you could go outside and find one, ask permission before you pick it. So wherever you can find a flower, you get that to look at. The second thing is I'm going to think about my paper. Now, one cool thing that Georgia O'Keeffe did is she didn't usually use a rectangular paper or canvas. She tended to use squares. So I'm going to turn mine into more of a square shape. So about 8.5 inches, I am going to draw a line and then cut it so I can have some square paper. Now this is 8.5 by 11 paper, so I'm going to cut it down to be 8.5 by 8.5, but any size paper that you got, just turn it into a square-ish shape. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right, then once I have my square shaped paper, I can begin. All right, so we've got this beautiful square, and I am going to think about the shape of my flower. Now, another aspect that is pretty unique for Georgia O'Keeffe and makes her artwork stand out is how she uses her canvas. Now, when she paints, she doesn't put the flower right in the middle. She kind of zooms in and makes it fill up the whole entire canvas, so that way the petals go right off of the page. So when you're drawing, you want to draw larger than life, and you really want to fill up your canvas. So my flower has a kind of circular center, and then the petals they're like tightly packed, they overlap a little bit, and a pretty standard petal shape. They're a little bit narrow down at the bottom, and then they open up wide like this. So I'm just going to gently add in some sketches of my petals. Now, don't worry too much, especially if you make a mistake at this point, because we are going to be coloring this in, whether you want to use paint like Georgia O'Keeffe, or whether you're going to use markers or crayons. You'll cover over your pencil marks, so don't get worried that you can see mistakes or whatever, because you're going to cover them up. Alright, there's kind of like a gap right here. Alright, so now I'm going to go back in. Now that I have my first layer of petals, I'm going to add in some extra petals because they are tightly packed and there's some overlap, so I'll add in a couple overlapping petals. Now, Georgia O'Keeffe obviously looked at real life examples of flowers and had realistic details in them, but her artwork is still a little bit abstract. So if there's some petals you want to invent or some details you want to add in, no problem. Alright, so there is my basic sketch of my flower. Now, when I look at my flower, I have a nice dark brown center with some light brown or maybe golden details on the edge, and then the petals kind of transform from yellow and orange all the way to more of a dark orange and red at the tip. So I'm going to make sure that I get something that can really blend in those colors. Now that all of my petals are going off the page and I fill up my whole canvas, it's time for me to start coloring. So you can always go in and use paint, colored pencil, marker, crayon, whatever you have at home will be fine. For speed purposes, I'm going to be using marker today. So I'm going to make sure I leave a little bit of space for my golden bits. And I'm going to color this in pretty solidly brown. How is my marker dying already? Must be making too much art. Just kidding. There's never too much art. Alright, and it looks like it's not quite dark enough because it looks like it gets even darker towards the center. So I'm going to go in with some black and my black marker and add in some details. I'm just going to dot it a whole lot. And the more I build up those dots, the deeper and darker it's going to look. So I'm going to make sure I add lots. It's like going into a black hole here. And that also gives it kind of like the fuzzy texture. Here, I'll add in some little fuzzies too. Now by blending these two colors, I'm thinking that it's starting to look a little bit more and more realistic. So you go right around in a big circle, add in those fuzzy wuzzies. It's the little details like this that really make your drawing look realistic. Alright, now I gotta add in some of those golden bits. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna start dotting them all around here. And then I'm gonna build that up with some brighter yellows to really make it pop. Nice. And then I'll add in a couple of browns to make it kind of blend in. Especially right on the edge. Alright, now that I'm happy with my center, I'm going to start in with some yellow and yellow-orange. Make sure those markers snap shut. You don't want them to dry out. So I'm going to go yellow first. And I'm going to do a little bit of overlapping with my dots. And a little bit of overlapping into my brown. It will get stuff on the tip of your marker, but don't worry, it shouldn't affect it permanently. Alright, now I'm going to get in there with maybe a more yellow-orange. Or this one is just orange. Hopefully it becomes yellow-orange when I mix it right now. Nice. I'll just do this one petal for now. Let's see, maybe if I overlap a little more yellow on top of this. Ooh. That looks nice. Alright. Check out this tiger orange and see what it does. Oh, that'd be cool for some shading maybe. And what I really like about these flowers is that at the very top of them it gets a little red. So let me mix in a little red right here. Alright, so that looks pretty nice for how my flower looks. I get a nice blending of the colors. And so now you want to fill up the whole paper with all of your colors, leaving very minimal background in the